Hello guys, welcome to my channel, and today I have my June reading wrap-up for you. So I read a lot of books this month, so I want to go ahead and get through this as quickly as possible because I did read a lot of them. I'm going to start off with the volumes I read the most of and then move on. I'm not going to go into detail about every single book. I might go into detail about a few, but to keep this video as short as possible, I'm just going to blab through them. So first, let me grab my notebook. And I'm going to talk about the Sonic comics I read first. So I read a lot of IDW Sonic comics. And the last one I read was volume 8. And that was a while ago. So this time I started with 9. So first, we have volume 9, which I gave 4 out of 5. Volume 10, which I gave a 5 out of 5. Volume 11, which I gave a 2 out of 5. And I gave that one a 2 out of 5 because of the Zeddy. I'm not a big fan of Zeddy. I've never been a big fan of Zeddy. Ever since they got released in, what was it's called Sonic World, something I forgot what it's called. It's on 3DS and the Wii U, I believe. And I've never liked them, like, ever. They're very low tier villains. There are better villains. Even as I go back to the Archie series, there's better villains in the Archie series than the Zeddy. And there's better villains in the IDW series than the Zeddy also. The Zeddy seem kind of pointless at this point, and I just feel like just leave them alone, maybe. But I mean, a lot of people do like the Zeddy, so it's just my opinion, I guess. I just don't like them. But yeah, I gave volume 11 a 2 out of 5. Then I gave volume 12 a 4 out of 5. Volume 13 a 5 out of 5. Volume 14 a 5 out of 5. And volume 15 a 5 out of 5. So those were the main ones that I read. And then I read some spin-off series. So we have Frontiers, which was the free comic book day version. But I think that was the only one that they had. And this was, I gave this 3 out of 5. And it's a prologue. Then I read the Sonic 30th Anniversary, which I gave 4 out of 5. The Sonic 30th Anniversary Deluxe, which I gave a 5 out of 5. The Art Book, which I gave a 5 out of 5. Free Comic Book Day 2022 Annual, which I gave a 4 out of 5. Bad Guys, I gave a 5 out of 5. And Scrapnik Island, which is my favorite of all the Sonic comics, I gave that one a 5 out of 5. And I kind of wish they would do another one, but they probably won't. So out of all my favorite series, my favorite comic book series is the IDW Sonic. I used to love the Archie version, but I prefer IDW now, and it's my absolute favorite. So I can't wait to read volume 16. Then I read some My Little Pony books. I read My Little Pony, which is Generation 5, volume 1. I gave that one a 4 out of 5. And this one had to do with Discord coming back to try and destroy the magic. Because as we know, for some reason, Ponyville can't keep it together. Something happens and then Ponyville's destroyed again. Because somehow Twilight failed. And then we end up with G5, and they're all magicless and don't get along. I do not know what happened in G4. For all this to go so wrong, and Discord was coming back to try to fix the world because he felt like magic is what tore the original orchestra apart. So he wants to take the magic away so everyone can be equal. It was a little fun story. Also pretty sad. Then I read My Little Pony Generations, which I gave a 5 out of 5. And the Generations was really, really great. I was hoping that there was a second volume, but there wasn't, and I'm so disappointed. I hope they do another Generations. It was really fun. I want to see what everything is like now that they have all these new people in their world. Then I read the Friendship Magic 2021 annual volume, and I gave that one a 3 star. Then I read this old sort of series called Heartbreak Club. And I gave Heartbreak Club volume 1 3 stars, and then volume 2, 3, and 4 got 4 stars. I read Cheese Sweet Home volume 2 and 3, which both got 4 stars. And Cheese Sweet Home is just about this little cat. It's a really cute series. There's a lot of different. There's Cheese Sweet Home and Cheese Sweet Life, I think, and there's also anime. And I really do enjoy the Cheese stories, but it's not something that I actively reach for to read. And then I read this manga series called Flying Witch. I read Flying Witch a long time ago, but I never finished it. This time I actually got a chance to read volume 1 through 4. And I gave volume 1 4 stars, volume 2 got 5 stars, volume 3 got 4 stars, and volume 4 got 5 stars. And I highly recommend checking out Flying, which if you haven't, the art style is pretty simple. It's very slice of life. Nothing really happens. And that's what I like about the series. It's just about this girl who wants to be a witch. And this teenager who wants to be a witch, and then her young cousin who wants to be a witch. But since her young cousin is a human, it's hard for humans to become witches. But witches, it's easy for witches to become witches, obviously. But like humans, it's hard for them to become witches, and they want to train her to be a witch also. So this whole story is just like this simple, cute slice of life story. I highly recommend checking it out. So the first book that I read was Blue at the Beach, which was the Live Up Lab book. And I gave that one 5 stars. It's just a recap of the episodes. Then I read Molly Morningstar, A Doll for Me. It's about this little girl who wants a doll that looks like her. Because all the dolls in the store look nothing like her. All her friends have dolls look like them, but she never had a doll that looked like her. And I gave this a 4 out of 5 because I was upset that the mother kind of dismissed the daughter for wanting the daughter to look like her. The mother's like, why don't you just take one of your other dolls? Like, it's okay, just take another doll. You don't have to have a doll. So I'm like, no, like, don't dismiss how your daughter feels about wanting a doll that looks like her. Because a lot of us did grow up not having dolls that looked like us because they didn't really sell those dolls at all. Like, I think growing up, we mostly only had Nickies and yeah, just Nicki. Like, I only remember seeing Nickies in store when I was really young. When I go through my childhood dolls, I have a lot of Nickies and a lot of Sashas. And that's about it. And those are ones people bought me because they wanted dolls that looked like me. So they ended up buying me a lot of Sashas, a lot of Nickies. I still have some of those now. Now I think there was like the Moxie dolls, the Moxie girls, and there was another. I think her name was Sasha too, but it was also her. But other than that, there weren't many dolls that looked like me, you know. And then there was the Giving Tree. I read this, gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I read the Giving Tree when I was younger. I don't remember anything about it until I did read it again this time, and I gave it a 3 out of 5 because, oh my goodness, that main character was very selfish. I did not expect to be crying about a tree, but I cried about the tree because that was so sad. I should have added it in my short, but I forgot. Then I read Disney Frozen, A Sister More Like Me. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars because the not Frozen, Anna and Elsa seemed very out of character in this book. And next I read Mistletoe with Mashikas. I wanted to like this a lot more. I thought I was going to love this book. I thought I was going to absolutely love it, but I didn't. I did not love it as much as I thought I was going to. So I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I still want to give the other books in the series a try. Okay, and then I read 5 Minute Sleep Time Stories, which had Frozen story in there, which I really, really loved. I'm a big Frozen fan. We had this Mickey Mouse story, a Toy Story story, and I think it got the 4 out of 5 because of the Mickey Mouse story. I was annoyed with Minnie Mouse. So, yeah. She was being very rude in this book. Then I read a manga called Ellie's by one new girl, and I want to like this a lot more. Maybe 3 out of 5 stars. Just some things in the story just felt rushed, and I kind of wish that it wasn't as rushed. But I don't know what I expected from such a short bio anyway. Then I read The Aggressive Guide to Office Life, and I gave this one a 4 out of 5. This is my first experience with Agretsuko besides like the clips on YouTube. And I do want to read more Agretsuko stuff and actually get into the Agretsuko series a little bit more. Just don't know where to watch it yet. And then I read Keeper of Enchanted Rooms. This book took up most of my month when it came to reading. The reason I didn't read many more books this month is because of Keeper of Enchanted Rooms, and that's the Wimble House. And I gave this book a 4 out of 5, and I highly, highly recommend reading this book. I absolutely love this book. There's just a few little things that kept me from liking it the most, but it was such a good story. It's just, it gave me Encanto vibes when it came to the house. And so I'm going to leave a little Goodreads bookshelf with all the reviews that have trigger warnings in them. That way all the books that have trigger warnings on them will be in that list, so you guys can check out which ones you want to check out. Because a lot of books that I read this month have a lot of trigger warnings. So then next we have The Secret Life of Shadows. I gave this one a 4 out of 5. No, 5 out of 5, my bad. I gave it 5 out of 5. And this book was really sad. It's a story about a little girl that lost her mother and how she's dealing with the aftermath of it. And it's just really sad. It's also a very beautiful book. And then I read Secret Garden, the graphic novel, and I gave it a 4 out of 5. I have never read The Secret Garden growing up, ever, and this is my first experience with The Secret Garden. I really like this, so much so that I'm going to actually try to read the original version. I actually own it now, so I'm going to check that out eventually. Then we have Helpless Great Warrior. I gave this volume 3 stars. I think Helpless Great Warrior is only one volume now. I don't think it's going to happen anymore. but I gave it 3 stars. I remember reading it a long, long time ago, and I gave it 5 stars back then. But reading it back now, there's just a lot of things that kept me from giving it 5 stars. It's not a bad story, but it just wasn't for me. And then I read some SpongeBob books. We had SpongeBob and the Princess, which I gave 4 stars. And this book actually takes place before the SpongeBob movie. So the princess in this one is different than the one that we got in the movie and the one that I guess we see from now on in the series. I don't know if she changed after the movie, but yeah. Then we have Goodnight Lagoon, which is like I don't know if it's a parody, it's called a parody of the Goodnight Moon. What's a Goodnight Moon? I think it's Goodnight Moon. But I gave Goodnight Lagoon 4 out of 5 stars. And then Mr. Fancy Pants, I gave 4 out of 5 stars also. Then I read some Dora books. I read Mermaid Treasure Hunt, which was Dora and Friends. I gave it a 4 out of 5. Say the Puppies, which I gave a 5 out of 5. And when I read Say the Puppies, I forgot that I had watched this episode a long time ago. It was one of my favorite episodes growing up, so reading this book was kind of like a slap of memories in the face. Like a bunch of memories just got slapped back into my mind as I read this book. So I gave it 5 out of 5. I really liked it. Then I read Dora Saves the Snow Princess. I gave that one 5 out of 5. Never watched the movie. Will I ever watch the movie? Probably not. Maybe. Who knows? The last thing that I read was Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, The Complete Adventure. I gave this one 4 out of 5. And I preferred the Ninja Turtles before. But this series, I do like how their personalities are in this book compared to the way they were in the one before, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Turtles. So I do enjoy the characteristics of these characters, and I had so much fun reading this comic. I do want to read some more if they ever release it anymore, and I highly recommend checking out all the books that I read. But I do highly recommend checking this one out if you're a Ninja Turtle fan. Anyway, that's all that I read this month. Hopefully this video isn't too long. Hopefully it's okay that I kind of just flew through them. How many books did you read this month? Have you read any of these books? Which one is your favorite? If you have any books you recommend me checking out, let me know, and I'll try to check them out later on down the line. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see y'all later.